Have you ever heard of the king who went mad? No, this isn't a fairy tale. It's a true story from British history, and it changed the country forever. Meet King George III. You might know him as the monarch who lost the American colonies, but there's a much more personal and tragic side to his reign. For years, George III was a dedicated and capable ruler, but in 1788, something snapped. He began to suffer from intense, debilitating episodes of what we now understand to be severe mental illness. His behavior became erratic and alarming. He would talk non-stop for hours until foam frothed at his mouth. He'd claim to be able to see Hanover from his window in Windsor, and he even once shook hands with an oak tree, believing it to be the King of Prussia. Imagine the panic in the royal court. The king, the very center of power, was losing his mind. Doctors at the time were baffled. They subjected him to brutal treatments, like restraining him in a straitjacket, blistering his skin, and using cold baths, all based on the misguided medical theories of the era. None of it worked, of course. These episodes would come and go, leaving the king lucid one moment and lost in delusion the next. His condition threw the government into crisis. How could a country be ruled by a king who wasn't in control of his own faculties? This led to the famous Regency crisis. Parliament had to decide if his son, the future George IV, should take over as Prince Regent. It was a political firestorm, with factions using the king's health as a weapon to gain power. Eventually, after a final devastating relapse in 1810, the Regency Act was passed, and his son officially took the reins. King George III spent the last decade of his life in seclusion at Windsor Castle, blind, deaf, and lost to the world, unaware that he was no longer king in practice. His tragic story isn't just about one man's struggle. It forced Britain to confront a question it had never faced before. What happens when the head of state is incapacitated? His personal tragedy paved the way for a modern constitutional monarchy, where the power of the monarch is limited and the government can continue, even when the crown is in crisis. It's a powerful reminder that history is made not just by grand battles and political treaties, but by the very human, very fragile lives of the people at its center. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more hidden histories. See you next time.